morning. Welcome to Monday on Rouser Radio, coming out of Lewes, East Sussex. I'm Keith Hayes, and again we'll have a little bit of a rant at whatever we think is unjust. Vigilante, not in the least. Sensible. Well, good morning, and a Monday morning, a merry Monday morning. Yes, why not? Let's greet the week with a certain amount of joie de vivre and brightness about us, because there's enough to depress us most of the time. I had a bit of a tough weekend, one way or another. And I not altogether relaxed by it, but the one thing I think about Monday morning is, even though Monday blues and we wake up and we think, oh my God, it's Monday again, and where did the weekend go? But I always think that there is a bit of a chance that we actually see Monday as a challenge, and that whatever went wrong last week and whatever we did over the weekend that may have affected us, that here is a chance of a renewal, as it were. A new week, a new chance to try and get on top of things and see whether we can improve on what we did last week. A few things, I think, that I was chatting to various people over the weekend about various topics, of course, and the question of what is bothering people in Lewes, and for that matter, right across Battle to Brighton, which is where we say we serve, and indeed I hope we do. We tend to look at Lewes very carefully because that's where we broadcast from, but we do try hard to keep our eye on what's happening in the rest of the area, and hopefully we'll have a few more correspondents very soon. Best laid plans, we're actually going to have Melissa Conti reporting from New York, and God bless her, she was taken into hospital with a fairly serious illness, so Melissa is out of action for a little while, but hopefully she'll come back as the year wears on. She's a first-class broadcaster, was my co-anchor on a coast-to-coast program called Morning and Nightly Business Report in the United States, a daily business program. It was a specialist program. We didn't get the huge audiences that the big programs and the big networks did. It was a PBS program, but we did get 8 million viewers, and 8 million in this country would put us well up the top 20 anyway, perhaps even into the top 10 on the odd occasion. So we worked together for a long time, until I think it was 1998 or 99 that lots of cutbacks came, and the program hit the dust. And it was one that suffered the indignity of being cut. 8 million viewers, and it was cut. But there we are, that's the United States for you. Huge numbers of people. If only I'd got 1 million viewers for Mirador Television, or 500,000 listeners to this, and we'd be chasing around with glasses of champagne in our hand. As it is, I mean, we've got a couple of hundred, not all of them from this area. We've got overseas people who tune in to both television and the radio programs, but it is growing. Bit by bit it's growing, and we have these analytics, or whatever they call them, that tell us how many people have tuned in, how many people have shared, how many people have made a comment, and so on and so forth. And each week it's gratifying to see we're getting to a few more people, and that they are enjoying what we're trying to do. And what we're trying to do is to be the watchdog of local councils. Why? Why would we want to do that? Well, first of all, and I never tire of saying this, is that a major survey suggests that as local media shrinks, which it is, not its fault at all. But at one time, if you look back over the old newspapers here, the wonderful accounts of the council and what people are doing, but boy, they had a reporter whose bum was never very far from the town hall or the district hall or the county hall for that matter. They knew exactly what was going on and they followed it on a day-to-day basis. Now, having done that overseas and having done that in Vancouver, I understand how much effort is put into finding out what's going on. We don't have that anymore because the cost of newspapers and the cost of radio and television and so on has gone soaring. Audiences and sales and advertising are down, and so the cutbacks have meant that that sort of examination of local government has taken a back seat, or it's not a back seat. It can't be done in the same way that it was for so many years. But hopefully, between us and the people who run the groups on Facebook and that terrific organisation, Lewis I hope that we can, between us, make sure that we're keeping an eye on Lewis District Council. We haven't had much luck yet in any sort of change. First of all, they don't like talking to us. I mean, they put out a press release on it, well, anybody can do that. That's easy. That's telling the story from their point of view. The fact is, you still can't get through on the phone. A neighbour, in fact, tried on Friday. He tried to get hold of somebody from the planning department. It took him half an hour to get through to anybody, who then said, no, the person who answers queries about the planning department wouldn't be in for a couple of days. So he wasted half an hour trying to get through, and was lucky to get through, because a lot of people still can't. And what about the scrutiny committee that the politicians have? What's it doing? It doesn't report back to us. I only know because one of the local politicians told me that it existed. And then I only know that it actually took action because my, let me put it this way, my spokesperson from inside told me that it happened. And the fact is that basically the issue that they decided to examine was the phone system, which is lousy. I mean, it's just awful. It just doesn't work. It's that simple. It just simply does not work. So the phone system came under review, and one of the officials said, "Don't worry, chaps, I've got it sorted. It's only temporary," and that was 6 months ago. So don't talk to me about the efficiency of the local council. Those are the things that we have to keep on at them. And as we get a bigger and stronger voice, we can represent you in these things and say, listen, now that we've got a watchdog, now that we've got a voice that roars, albeit on the internet, but that's where the majority of listeners are going now, and viewers, to the internet. It's just that it's a much more difficult job to get people to listen and watch, because there are so many options on the internet, as opposed to, say, when I was a lad, you got, I think it's the Midland Service, the Home Service, and one other, I can't remember what it was. It might have been a news service. So you had a choice of three. There wasn't even any commercial radio or anything of that sort. We just had a choice of three. Now there's a choice of thousands. So the whole scene has changed. The fact of the matter is, so has the reporting on local councils. And this survey shows very clearly that where there isn't a watchdog, there isn't a media watchdog, the inefficiency of the council goes up, and so does the cost. In other words, the council tax. Well, we must be a model. We must be an absolute model of that. And so therefore it is incumbent upon some of us who have been in the media and enjoyed a good life, I think, in it, and feel that we were a decent and honest, and our appraisal and our approach to what we did as journalists should try hard to keep an eye on what's going on here. Okay, we haven't got much of a voice at the moment, but it's growing, as I say. So join us and let us know what you want. Because we are, you can let us know at miradortelevision.com. If you tap into Mirador Television, I think there's an area there that you can say what you think and let us know, and we'll happily pick up the cudgel, and whether it's something you approve of or don't approve of, we're willing to go to battle. So there we are. That's why we're here, and this is Rouser Radio on Facebook. And later in the day, it goes on to all sorts of other social media, and it's repeated on Facebook, of course. So do keep an eye open for it, even if you don't get up at this ungodly hour of 6:15. Watch out for the trains. You can't go directly to London at the moment. You either go via Littlehampton, which has got to put a fair old chunk of time onto the travelling time, or you catch a bus and go to Three Bridges, I think it is, and let's face it, that puts another chunk of time on. So if you want to be on time for work, I would allow another extra hour, which means that some of you will be getting up at this time, and because the 6:45 ain't going to get you in at 8 o'clock. So beware, and that's going to last for 9 days. So it started on Saturday. So let's see, that's 7 to next Friday, 8, 9. Well, it should end. It should, in theory, end next Sunday. Don't hold your breath. Also, the train companies say that they're going to do a wholesale review of ticketing, so you don't have to buy 27 different tickets just to get the cheapest means of travel. They're going to make a fare, they say, one ticketing system, so you can buy a ticket, say, from here to London, and you'll get a reasonable price, whereas at the moment, to get a reasonable price, you have to buy 2 or 3 different tickets and say that you're going somewhere that you're not. Right. A good rant to start off with, I think. 12 minutes worth of rant. I think it's about time that we actually had a little bit of something. Shall we... let's see what I put up for us to take a listen to today. White River. We've played it before, but it's rather a nice, trilly little piece. Why don't we go to White River and perhaps a little bit of a relaxation before we come back and bark some more?